In the silent corridors of Canadian politics, a ghastly package marked the onset of a nightmarish chronicle. On the early hours of May 29, 2012, a parcel arrived at the national headquarters of the Conservative Party of Canada. It concealed a severed human left foot. Simultaneously, another sinister package destined for the Liberal Party office containing a left hand was intercepted by Canada Post the same day. This was merely the unsettling prelude to a horrifying saga that unfolded both in the political sphere and the darkest corners of the digital realm. Yet the tale takes a more sinister turn. On May 25, 2012, a video surfaced on bestcore.com, a digital abyss. It depicted a naked male bound to a bed frame, mercilessly stabbed by an ice pick, followed by a gruesome dismemberment and acts of necrophilia. Shockingly, reports from Bestcore users, including a Montana-based attorney attempting to alert the authorities and the FBI, were met with dismissal. Who were the perpetrators of these atrocities? The chilling revelations started to unravel when, on the fateful night of May 30, a janitor reported the discovery of a suitcase in the back alley of a building in the Snowden area of Montreal. Inside it was a decomposing torso. This was the tragic fate of Jun Lin, a promising 30-year-old Chinese international student studying computer engineering at Concordia University. Lin was a gay man who had not revealed his sexual orientation to his family back home. They had even met his boyfriend, a fellow Chinese, but did not know about their son's relationship with the man. Due to societal pressure, Lin was forced into breaking up with the man because his family wanted him to find a wife and settle down. After his breakup, he used the internet to meet other men. Lin's disappearance triggered a desperate search among his friends and colleagues. On May 24, 2012, Lin was last seen, and when he failed to show up for his scheduled shift the next day, friends reported him missing to the authorities. In the shadows lurked Luka Magnotta, a name destined for infamy. The police discovered Magnotta's involvement in the case when they analyzed the CCTV footage, showing Magnotta coming in and out of the building, disposing bags that contained Jun Lin's remains. Magnotta's rented apartment became a gruesome crime scene, every surface stained with blood. If you don't like the reflection, don't look in the mirror, I don't care. Scrawled in red ink, a chilling statement to the twisted psyche within. As authorities connected the dots, Magnotta's dark secret unraveled. A manhunt ensued, but this wasn't Magnotta's first alliance with the law. Now you might be wondering what led Luka Magnotta down this path of brutality, with no remorse or effort to conceal his deeds. Join me on a bone-chilling journey as we delve into the mind of Luka Magnotta and explore how unchecked narcissism can metamorphose into something way more sinister. In the quiet suburbs of Scarborough, Ontario, a young Eric Clinton Kirk Newman came into the world on July 24, 1982. Born to Anna Yorkin and Donald Newman, his childhood was anything but ordinary. According to Eric, his mother's fixation on cleanliness bordered on obsession, reaching a point where she routinely locked her own children out of the house. Shockingly, she once carelessly left their pet rabbits outside in the cold, condemning them to a cruel fate. It was an incident that etched itself into Eric's young mind, a moment that would cast a long and ominous shadow over his future. His father, diagnosed with schizophrenia in 1994, divorced his mother. This rupture deepened the chasm between father and son. Eric sought solace in his grandparents' home after the divorce, desperately craving love and stability. However, life had more tribulations in store. His grandparents' marriage soon fell apart too, and he was left to live with just his grandmother. Living with his grandmother Phyllis, he found himself isolated from the world, homeschooled under the belief that the outside world was a perilous and dirty place. Concurrently, his mother entered a relationship that Eric described as monstrous, further adding to the turmoil of his adolescence. The lack of a conventional social life and growing detachment from close family members left an indelible mark on Eric's psyche. His worldview, shaped by this turbulent upbringing, would soon unravel in ways that no one could have predicted. Amidst the chaos, one constant remained: his sister. In the intricate tapestry of his childhood, she was one of the few individuals other than himself he deemed truly beautiful, a sentiment that spoke volumes about the tumultuous journey of the carnivorous narcissism Eric was destined to embark upon. In the corridors of I.E. Weldon Secondary School in Lindsay, Ontario, a young Eric attended classes, an unassuming figure destined for obscurity. It was here that the first ominous whispers of a troubled mind began to surface. Diagnosed with schizophrenia during his formative years, Eric existed in the shadows, his presence blending seamlessly into the background. Schoolmates recount tales of a boy who never commanded attention, a mere whisper in the cacophony of adolescence. Forgettable, they say. It's evident Eric lacked the connections that bind us to the tapestry of society, a disconnect that would sow the seeds of narcissism, tendrils creeping through the contours of his mind. Developmental psychologists like Heinous and Otto Kernberg illuminate the path Eric treaded. They speak of the profound impact of early experiences, the void left by neglect and inconsistent caregiving, a void that births the compensatory behaviors seeking excessive admiration, harboring an inflated self-importance, a sinister dance with narcissism. Fast forward to Magnotta's later years, disability allowances, and a foray into the world of male escorting and stripping, a concoction of desperation and survival. His lust for fame, a flame that flickered in the darkness of his desires. This is the reason why he entered the porn industry. He became an adult entertainer.
Now, Jimmy, you're an escort, correct? That's a very unique job. Tell me, how does someone end up in that career?
You know what the best part is? The best part about being an escort is I'm my own boss. I get to pick my own hours, and I make a lot of money.
However, the dream of a world-renowned work of adoration echoing across continents remained just that, a dream. Less than a dozen movies shot over 5 years, the fruit of his labor hanging heavy in the shadows of anonymity. Unsuccessful in modeling, Magnotta attempted a reinvention, a change of name on August 12, 2006. Luka Magnotta, a desperate rebranding, a desperate pursuit of a spotlight that seemed to forever elude him. But even this attempt at rebirth crumbled. The echoes of a failure reverberated through the corridors of bankruptcy. Declared in March 2007, the dream of a shining nameplate on the marquee of stardom remained unfulfilled. The insatiable thirst for fame consumed Luka Magnotta, weaving a dark tale of obsession and deception. As he embarked on his journey into the world of modeling, the first tendrils of an unhealthy fixation with himself began to surface. A recluse in the making, he withdrew into the shadows when not gracing the camera or engaging in the clandestine world of escorting and stripping. His sanctuary became the digital realm, an abyss where he crafted alternate realities for himself. Hours turned into days as he meticulously crafted accounts across various platforms. Sometimes it was a public glorification of himself, blogs, articles, and videos portraying a narrative of a man with a colossal fan following. Other times he'd adopt aliases, sculpting personas that painted him as a godlike figure worshipped by many. The zenith of this narcissistic web of lies was lukamagnotta.com, a digital domain of self-adulation, a disturbing spectacle of images and videos, many of them fraudulent, depicting a life of opulence, exotic travels, luxury cars, high-profile relationships, the mirage of a lavish existence that masked the grim reality. The police estimate that Magnotta orchestrated at least 70 Facebook pages and 20 websites under various names, meticulously singing his own praises. One website crowned him the new James Dean, a title he relished in his constructed reality. Yet the shadows of deception extended further. Magnotta didn't shy away from using these online platforms as weapons, attacking and cyberbullying those who dared to cross him or criticize his carefully crafted facade. In his relentless pursuit of the spotlight, Magnotta entered Out TV's reality series Cover Guy, only to face the bitter taste of defeat.
Hi, my name is Luka. Magnotta is my last name, Magnotta. I have a very deep voice. A lot of people tell me that, actually.
So how do you get your voice so deep?
How do I get my voice so deep? Practice makes perfect, right? I have no problem gaining weight. Like, I can gain weight if I need to gain weight.
I'm actually thinking more muscle definition. I think you do have a very nice lean.
That could happen really quickly. I can gain weight really quickly.
I'm gonna say potentially, I think you do have potential, but I'm gonna ask you to come back next year.
Okay. All right. That's what I do.
I think you look better in person in front of me than you look with your modeling portfolio.
Okay.
I think your photos are overexposed and blown out.
All right. I think they look hot. A lot of people tell me I'm really devastatingly good looking, so.
I just don't think he's speaking enough for Cover Guy. I don't think you have the musculature yet.
I definitely can gain weight.
Yeah, I know you think.
But you don't think I can. I was in Italy and they told me basically they don't want like really muscular type guys. They wanted like, thinner guys, and that's why I said, you know what, I'm gonna, be thinner.
Undeterred, he ventured into the realm of plastic surgeries, hemorrhaging money in a desperate bid to compete in the Slice Network's Plastic Makes Perfect in 2008.
How important are your looks to you?
Oh my God, that's number one. Okay, number one is looks. Number two would have to be intelligence. And I don't know what the rest are. all I care about is number one. I've had my nose done. I've had 2 hair transplants, like I said before. And I'm planning on doing muscle implants in my pecs and my arms. So that just remains to be seen, but because that's pretty...
Do you think you're a bit of an addict?
Yeah, my name's Luka and I'm a cosmetic surgery addict.
Financial stability crumbled under the weight of silicone dreams, but rejection still clung to him like a persistent shadow. Every effort, every surgery, every fabricated narrative met with the chilling silence of obscurity. The shadows deepen in Luka Magnotta's twisted odyssey as an unsettling chapter unfolded. A transgender woman who briefly entwined her fate with his reported a chilling transformation, a descent into the darkness of obsession. Magnotta, in a macabre turn, fixated on Karla Homolka and her accomplice Paul Bernardo as role models. He wove a web of lies, spreading rumors that he was romantically entangled with Homolka. He, in an effort to grab attention, invited himself to do an interview with the Toronto Sun, denying any links with Homolka.
The rumors destroyed my life, basically, and I've been receiving death threats. My address is posted, that's why I had to move. I want my Pomeranian back. It was taken out of my SUV. What he said, I want to set the record straight that me and her have absolutely no connection. And now nobody wants to talk to me. I don't have anybody, basically.
Montreal police, unearthing this disturbing narrative, confronted Magnotta during interrogation. Denials echoed in the cold room, the fabrications dismissed as hoaxes. The Toronto Sun reporter, who had unwittingly become a pawn in Magnotta's dark game, later recalled a sense of unease during their 2007 interview, suspecting that the rumors were a desperate plot for attention. Rewind to 2005, Magnotta, still under his birth name, befriended a mentally vulnerable woman online, a woman with the mental capacity of a 12-year-old. Exploiting her innocence, he orchestrated a heinous plot, manipulating her into applying for credit cards. A conviction followed, marked by 1 impersonation and 3 counts of fraud. The chilling accusations of sexual assault lingered, although they would be eventually dropped. A guilty plea led to a 9-month conditional sentence with a stern warning from the judge. You have a medical problem. You need to always take your medication. If you do not, your life is going to get messed up. A prescient warning that echoed through the corridors of time. Looking back, Magnotta stood at a crossroads, a chance to pivot from the precipice to reclaim a semblance of normalcy. Instead, 5 years later, in 2010, he succumbed to the carnivorous temptations of his narcissistic demons. Luka Magnotta's twisted descent into madness reached its bone-chilling climax in 2010. The pursuit of fame had driven him to commit acts that would shock the world, an unimaginable cruelty that unfolded on the darkest corners of the internet. The ominous video titled "One Boy, Two Kittens" was uploaded by Magnotta to YouTube, a grotesque display of cruelty towards innocent creatures. Magnotta, driven by an insatiable hunger for attention, had intentionally placed kittens in a plastic bag, subjecting them to the deafening roar of a vacuum cleaner. Animal rights activists, unbeknownst to them, were about to embark on a harrowing journey, unraveling the web of deception laid by a killer. A sickening sequence of videos followed, each more heinous than the last. Magnotta, in his sinister quest for infamy, drowned a kitten in a bathtub, then fed another to a python. These acts were his grotesque bid for notoriety. After around 14 months, activists who had been fervently searching for the elusive killer since the videos had started being uploaded stumbled upon planted photos online thanks to Magnotta's thousands of fan accounts, created by Magnotta himself. The same kittens, the same apartment, but this time the killer's face was unmasked. It was a revelation. They had been looking at the perpetrator all along. Magnotta had driven attention to himself, flaunting his malevolent deeds. A cryptic email arrived 4 days later, revealing the true identity: Luka Magnotta, born in Russia, residing in West Hollywood. As the internet buzzed with the speculation, a shocking revelation awaited those who delved into Magnotta's online trails. An odyssey of lies, ties to the Russian mob, white supremacist sympathies, and an imagined celebrity. Magnotta, the cat killer, became an internet sensation, but the lack of concrete evidence hindered the activists' pursuit. A news article in The Sun hinted at the killer's existence, and Magnotta walked into the Sun's office to deny any link to the videos, a move shrouded in suspicion.
You can pretend to be someone you're not on the internet.
People frame me, so isn't that logical to try to defend myself? Think about that.
But they're not.
But that does make sense.
They're not pretending to be someone they're not.
You're not answering.
But they're not pretending to be someone they're not.
Well, they're pretending to be me.
People are pretending to be you.
Isn't that obvious?
2 days later, an email from Magnotta taunted the investigators.
claiming victory and foreshadowing more gruesome acts. The London police shrugged off the case, citing jurisdictional issues. Spring 2012 dawned, and the Ontario police received word of Magnotta's activities. Internet activists, vigilant in their pursuit, uncovered hints that Magnotta might be in Montreal. However, the local police dismissed the case, citing a lack of evidence. The horrifying climax unfolded with the release of One Lunatic, One Ice Pick. Magnotta, still addressing his imaginary audience, showcased a chilling performance, an act of unspeakable violence against Jen Lin. The ensuing events, a series of horrors, led to an Interpol notice. Less than a month, on June 4, 2012, Berlin police captured Magnotta, who, in a twist of fate, was reading news stories about himself, this in itself being a sign of his deadly narcissism. The true scale of the horror was revealed, sending shockwaves across the international community. For Junlin's family, it was an unbearable heartbreak. Magnotta, now sentenced to a mandatory life term, will be eligible for parole after 25 years. Additional charges earned him 19 more years to be served concurrently. A chapter in humanity's darkest book where the descent into madness reached its catastrophic end.